From my phone and then off of that. Whew. So Shabbat Shalom, everybody. We kind of just gonna jump into it. Ak, if you don't mind, will you lead us in prayer?
Thank you for waking us up today and allowing us and giving us another Sabbath to rest on. I ask that you be with us and give us the discernment that we need as we look through your scriptures today and learn how to Again, thank you for another day. Thank you for getting us all here safely. And thank you for all the ears and eyes tuned in and that they may learn something more as well. Shalom.
Shalom. So today the lesson is titled Woe unto them that call evil good and good evil. I doubt we'll get to the Jews in Portugal part. We could, but I doubt it'll go that fast because we're still going through the different phases of the Inquisition, which was really an extension of the transatlantic slave trade or the transatlantic slave war, because when you go into captivity, you're technically a prisoner of war. But to start, we're going to go to Isaiah 59. Because a lot of people don't realize that America is facing judgment. They think that everything's going to be all right. They think that we can do whatever, whenever, however we decide to do it. We're above reproach. We're above the law of the Most High. We're above the laws of any land and even international law. And because of these things, we know that America is in the crosshairs of judgment. And so we just got to make sure that we are remaining separate and righteous before the Most High. Because your bloodline cannot save you. Your skin color cannot save you. Your theology, if it's not in Mashiach or Christ, cannot save you. You have to have faith in Mashiach, and you have to be righteous before the Most High. It's two things. Say again? No, family members' prayers, they help, but they cannot save you. This salvation thing, it's truly an individual thing, and then it grows into at a national level. And the same concept comes with judgment. Because a lot of times the Most High, he'll start judging individuals and tribes and nations. And then once the collective consciousness of a nation becomes so wicked, then the whole nation becomes judged, right? So again, we're going to go to Isaiah 59, and if you don't mind reading that.
Behold, the Most High's hand is not short, that it cannot save, neither his ear heavy, that it cannot hear. But your iniquities are separated between you and your God, and your sins have hid his face from you, that you will not hear.
So right now, we need to be discerning individually what sins or what secret things are we trying to hide from everybody, from the Most High, from the world, whatever the case may be. Because these are the same things that are separating us from the Most High. And then if you're not under Mashiach, under Christ, as they would say, then you're going to be partakers in the judgments to come. So this is because we went through, the dedication. And this is the continual process of purging these things out and continuing to find things to separate yourself from the world so that you're not separated from the Most High. Right? So this is a constant thing, like you're looking at yourself outside of yourself, like, okay, where am I failing at? Okay, I'm failing at 1, 2, and 3, A, B, and C. How do I get to the point of being righteous before the Most High? Not because it's self-righteous, but because you know that you're doing the things that are pleasing to Him, which means obedience. And when you live in a nation full of lies and deception, it's very easy to pick up that nature. When you live in a nation where they break every treaty, they break every law, and they call it a good thing, and they use gaslighting, and they use propaganda, it's very easy for you to use that same type of judgment. Mike, yeah, my bad. Say again?
Especially when the majority is doing it.
Right, right, because we were not called to fit in, we were called to be separate. And then again, sin, it separates us from the Most High to the point where He won't even hear us anymore. Keep going on.
For your hands are defiled with blood, and your fingers with iniquity. Your lips have spoken lies, your tongue hath muttered perverseness.
So this is talking mainly about the southern kingdom of Judah at the time. But this is what the men or what the leaders had devolved into. Even when you get into the quote-unquote New Testament, even though the Edomites had usurped authority in the priesthood and in the rulership, right? We still as a people have become wicked because we were following that type of leadership, right? So we have to have discernment to know what type of leadership that we're supposed to be following. Keep going.
None calleth for justice, nor any pleadeth for truth. They trust in vanity and speak lies. They conceive mischief and bring forth iniquity.
Does this not sound like America? Does this not sound like the whole political game, the whole political structure? In politics, it's okay to lie. Smear campaigns, just to get people to have a false opinion of you, right? All of that stuff goes against the Most High. Does the Most High like liars? It goes against the commandments. Bearing false witness, and that's one of the 6 things that the Most High hates. And that's probably the greatest sin when it comes to the media that America is guilty of, right? Bold-faced lying. Propaganda to get us to what? Join the military for 9/11. You know, for all of this things that are supposed to be righteous. And when you actually finally research that thing, you start realizing, oh, we're actually not the heroes in this thing. We're actually the villains. We actually have a lot of innocent blood on our hands. And sooner or later, when that sin cup is full, America is going to be judged. A lot of people don't understand that. They think that our military cannot be beat because of our technology, because of the placement. You know, we got the ocean protecting us. They think that nothing can stop us. Nothing, like there's the greatest power, the greatest nation that has ever been created is America. It's not going to fall. These people have turned America into the literal Titanic. And it's going to collapse. It's collapsing even now. Right? Keep going, Ike.
They hatch cockatrices.
Mm-hmm.
Cockroaches?
Yeah, it's an animal. Mm-hmm.
They hatch cockatrice eggs and use spiders' webs. He that eateth of their eggs dieth, and that which is crushed beneath breaketh out into a vapor.
Okay, to a snake. Keep going.
Their webs shall not become garments, neither shall they cover themselves with their works. Their works are works of iniquity. The act of violence is in their hands. Their feet run to evil, and they make haste to shed innocent blood. Their thoughts are thoughts of iniquity. Wasting and destruction are in their paths.
So anybody that knows anything about the people that are actually running America knows that they come up with all these big think tanks of the alleged smartest and most intelligent minds. And they literally think about ways to keep people oppressed, how to kill people, how to dwindle their numbers, how to keep them into captivity. It's the same type of thing, stuff that our people were doing because our people were wicked back then, right? And we live in a nation where this is like literally their number one thing to do. How do we keep the peoples in Africa, the peoples in the Americas, which they call the global South, like certain African countries and countries in the Americas, how do we keep them in subjection? Because I'm telling you, like, the more you start researching stuff, the more you start realizing, like, man, like they really knew who we were. They really knew who they were coming for. Even like the certain natives that they would end up taking, man, like you start looking into it, like, wait a minute. Like I was watching this brother on YouTube, and he gave me some really good information because when they came over here, they claimed that Christopher Columbus, right? He came over here and he was looking for the Indies or something like that. So he called them Indians, right? Well, when you start looking into it, like even like for the continent of India, let's just say that. The continent of India, that wasn't its older name, right? It wasn't called like India until like the 1850s or something, somewhere off in there, right? It used to be called Hindustan. So if it wasn't even called that back then in Columbus Day, how would you call them Indians? That don't even make sense. None of that stuff makes sense. I'm like, okay. And so when you look at the term Indian, it wasn't going back to people from the Indies or whatnot. It was going back to the Spanish term Endios, Indios, meaning in God. So they found a people in God that were doing all of the customs from the book. And when they kept finding these people, they were like, well, they're doing the customs from the book, but then they're worshiping this serpent feathered beast. So they're breaking the covenant. So right now they're under judgment. So they kept going after different peoples that they knew that there's so many different books from these conquistadors are like, yeah, these are like the children of Israel. They got to be from the northern 10 tribes. Some of these have got to be Jews all throughout the Americas and a lot of the other places that we are scattered to. Even India, even China. You start looking into it, you're like, China, India, we scattered to a lot of places. And then they ended up finding people doing certain customs and having certain like old copies of like Old Testament manuscripts written on like goat skins and all this other type stuff. So everything that this last beast has done has been contrived to wear out the saints, according to Daniel 7, right? And with us knowing these things, we know that in order to awaken the Most High, to judge this nation and the other nations that have put us into subjection, like he did in Egypt, we got to cry out to the Most High with a whole heart in righteousness, in pureness. And we have to separate the sins from our lives. And we have to separate ourselves from this world. We truly have to find a way to leave the world behind. We can't keep playing the game, and then the longer we stay in this state, the longer they're in their kingdom of God. Because when you try to have a conversation with them about certain truths that you come into, it's like the one thing that has poisoned America and in the world more than anything is white supremacy. Because like once you come out of her, you just start seeing it, even like to people that you start telling the truth to. Once you start going further into the whole truth, going against the image of Christ that we know is false and all this other type of stuff, they can't stomach it. Oh, and what do you mean there's going to be slavery in the kingdom? Read the Bible. Now, nobody's trying to say that we are going to be willfully taking people into bondage, but what makes you better than me? Because this is the one thing that they'll try to say, like, nobody is better than me. We're equal to everybody. Nobody's saying that. But what made your ancestors better than my ancestors when my ancestors had to go into captivity? Why can't your ancestors have to do that? And then you try to explain to them, when you read in the text, certain Gentiles get a salvation and get to come and pick whatever land they want to in the land, as long as they're in Christ or Mashiach. But that, like, once you start telling them the truth, they can't even hear none of that, because they just think, oh, you think you're better than me. Like, no, I never said that. You made that assertion. I didn't talk about none of that stuff. Like, you made that assertion out of nowhere. I'm like, no. And then you try to show them biblically, and they're leaning on Paul, and they don't even understand Paul. Haven't studied Paul, don't read Acts with it, don't know the historicity of the time, the stuff that was going on from the Maccabees and none of that stuff. Have no idea, but no type of context in anything. And then it's like, okay, all right. I mean, I'm not going to get offended because I know the law and I know the truth. But the same token, like this is what we got to be praying against. I'm so serious about this. This spirit of white supremacy has got to die. Like, I didn't mean to get on this, but that spirit of white supremacy, because some of the best white supremacists are your own people. Will believe anything in the media. Anything that politician says, and they never spoke to them, don't know none of them. But because of the image that they gave us, to where we put them in the image or in the place of God, because we had to go to them for everything. Now, this is not coming against quote unquote white people, because we know that there's people working behind the scenes to create the racial divide, right? Because nobody is inherently racist. Right, you have to teach a child. You have to teach someone to be like that. But the institution of white supremacy, that's why all of this stuff is going on. You see everything going on in the Americas, in Venezuela, and all the stuff like him going to go bomb Nigeria. All this stuff is because they're trying to keep white supremacy going. And in order for the kingdom to be established, it must die. It has to die in your minds. It has to die in your tribes. Nobody is better than anybody because of a skin color. Nobody is better than anybody because of a bloodline. Your bloodline cannot save you. Righteousness in the Most High and faith in Mashiach is the only thing that can save you. That's it. It ain't got nothing to do with nobody's skin color. It ain't got nothing to do with blood. Oh man, people be so stuck on, what do you mean? Because you don't want, so when we thought that we were the Gentiles, now that we know the truth, now it's a problem. Because we believe We believed in everything in the book, thinking that we were the Gentiles, and we didn't have a problem with Christ being white. And we still, like, if he really was, we still wouldn't have a problem with it. We were raised in that thing. But when truth comes out, cognitive dissonance kicks in, right? Like, it's so hard. Like, anybody but the Negro. That's literally what it comes down to. It can be anybody else. Oh, well, he was Middle Eastern. Show me what the Middle Easterners looked like prior to 1947. Go look at videos. Go to YouTube. Go look at pictures of what the Middle East looked like prior to 1947. They look darker than everybody in here. Like, the Middle East was one of the darkest places. Literally. But, my bad. I didn't mean to go on that diatribe. It just had to be said. White supremacy has got to die. That Christian nationalist movement is just white supremacy cloaked. It's just an inquisition in a different form. That's all this stuff is. They just repeat everything. All right, keep going. All right, my bad. You're on 8.
The way of peace they don't know. There is no judgment in their goings, and then made them crooked paths. Whosoever goeth therein shall not know peace. Therefore is judgment far from us. Neither doth justice overtake us. We wait for light, but behold obscurity, for brightness, but we walk in darkness. We grope for the wall like the blind. We grope as if we had no eyes. We stumble at noonday as in the night. We are in desolate places of dead men.
That's what we're definitely groping at noonday in America. We only know what they tell us, and most of the time what they tell us is a whole bold-faced lie. Right? Keep going.
We roar like bears, and mourn sore like doves. We look for judgment, but there is none. For salvation, but it is far off from us.
Do we feel like judgment is really being meted out here in America? What?
Is it weird that all that just wrong?
I mean, it's
all of that. It was the poet in me kicked in, and I'm like, huh?
I mean, but that's the way the Most High gave Isaiah the word. So I mean, he created poetry. So of course,
Yeah.
of course, right?
I've in a poem before. It just
Yeah, but you got to think. So our people and other peoples of color, quote unquote, and even other quote unquote white people have been looking for judgment in this place. So y'all saw what just recently happened with the woman that just got shot, right? By ICE agents. Let's talk about it. So J.D. Vance and them is trying to flip it, and from every video that I've seen, I'm not trying to be biased, it don't look like she was trying to run him over. Now, do y'all know the history of the guy that did the shooting? So 6 months ago, he got ran over, right? And so he was dealing with PTSD when that situation came up. That's why he came out guns a-blazing, basically, pretty much. But J.D. Vance and him, like, she was trying to run him over. Like, from every video I've seen so far, that was not the case. Oh, you don't know about the ICE agents? They kind of been on a little killing spree here, and then I think they shot 2 other people yesterday or the day before.
Black dude in California, Mexican dude in Colorado, he killed a lot of people.
Yeah, they on a killing spree. And so, in case y'all unaware, the goal is, because they're still trying to deport people, the goal is for them to get enough of their ICE agents to where they can start going door to door, city to city. Just saying. Go ahead, Elder.
My question that I had.
Go ahead.
My question that I had to ask some, had this conversation with other people that my acquaintances and so forth that saw that video, and my question to them was, okay, yeah, we see that it was a cold-blooded
Murder.
incident, murder what that agent did.
Yep.
But when it comes down to the so-called black people in the United States of America, what's the first thing they always tell us? To cooperate with the police.
Yep.
They tell you to stop. You stop in your tracks what you're doing and give them your ID, blah, 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 blah. Okay, why didn't she do the same thing that they tell so-called black people to do?
Because of white supremacy.
Well, we know that, but I proposed a question to some of these folks I was having this conversation with. Would she still be alive if she would have complied like they tell black folks for the most part to do? Don't, because you see that here you come, all of a sudden you want to put your transmission in gear and start pulling off.
If they would have snatched her out of the car, you're asking if she would have got out of the car. Because they were trying to snatch her out of the car. If she would have still been alive, I don't think she would have.
Yeah, and like that's what I be trying to tell like the average Joe. If you're not like a millionaire or billionaire, and you're so-called white, and you're in like the lower middle class or below, y'all in the same boat that we is, and they have no idea, because the elites, they don't care about all this racism as long as all of us are into all that racism and all that other dumb type of stuff.
They look at it from a poverty standpoint.
Yep.
But Taylor, you have to look at it objectively.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I can say, yeah, it was murder, but I notice like a lot of people get too hung up on their emotions on it.
Yeah.
Because,
Yeah.
and, you know, you have to put emotions aside.
Yep.
You know, I'm not emotional like that. I try to use, I use logic.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm just looking at the fact that they came up to her, and
Yep.
they were shouting commands at her.
Yep.
May have been profane language.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
But
Absolutely.
the thing about it, if she would have stopped this right there,
Yep.
wound her window down or whatever,
Yep.
would she still be alive?
I think more than likely she probably would have, but we know when it comes to law, like we have to do double good most of the time. A lot of them, the spirit on a lot of them is they always are going to buck against authority in the system because they've always gotten away with it, right? I know a lot of them, like, like ain't scared of no cop. Like I've seen a lot of those videos. I'm like, man, y'all talking crazy to these cops when these cops known for killing folks, and they don't care because again, that still goes back to white supremacy because they've been raised in a standard that's not even real. Right? They created that barrier of a standard just to keep us into subjection and to give them a false sense of security. And now, when the times that we're living in, they're basically in the same boat that we are. That's what I keep trying to tell them. Like, look, if you're not a millionaire, they don't care about you. If you're not in those inner circles and those elite secret societies and those think tanks, they do not care about you. I'm trying to tell you, these people that are ruling the world, in my opinion, a lot of them are not human, or they're only part human. They got Nephilim seed mixed in them. That's what I'm trying to say. What's up?
I said something in the piece yesterday. I was in the piece yesterday, and the other day I saw a video. I saw this sheriff, this black woman. I don't know where she's from. I can't remember. She said she did a press conference, and she said her name, and she was like, say her name, and she kept doing it, and then the moon started repeating it, and you could hear it like slowly. And you could tell the ones, us, who knew what say their name meant. We were used to it.
Yep.
We were used to it.
It's just another day.
It's just another day. But those who started doing it, their voices were cracking.
Yeah.
Like, oh, I don't know.
Now you understand.
Finally get it. What say their name means, like that hit so hard, saying that it's appealing.
Because even if she wasn't compliant, she wasn't doing anything violent, she wasn't reaching for anything. Again, I think if she would have complied, back to your statement, yes, or question, yes, she would have still been alive. But again, on a lot of them, because of this false sense of security under white supremacy, they think that they can get away with anything. They're above the law. Yeah.
Today's that day. They want to catch a body. They'll pick one.
And I'll tell you how the elites would look at it. Like that she was like a casualty of war and it was an acceptable loss, just so the fear of the ICE agents will continue to grow. Because that's what they need. They need that energy. They need us all focusing on that type of stuff to perpetuate what's going to happen next. Yeah. Right? Anybody. It's not about race. That's why I keep trying to say it's not about race no more, man. It's really not, man. Again, we got to be holy and set apart to the Most High.
It hadn't been for a while, but media keeps trying to just
Push it.
push that all this white, this black, that.
Yep.
It's not.
It's not about that.
It's been what's what they call it, the economic status,
Yeah.
blue collar, white
Yeah.
collar, all of that. That's what it's been for years.
It's been about the money.
Yeah.
How much money you got?
Like the comedian said, he said, Mr. White Man, you NIGGA now? So,
Go ahead, Aunt.
For our transgressions are multiplied before you, and our sins testify against us. For our transgressions are with us, and as for our iniquities, we know them. In transgressing and lying against the Lord, and departing away from our God, speaking oppression and revolt, conceiving and uttering from the heart words of falsehood. And judgment is turned away backward, and justice stands afar off. And truth is fallen in the street, and equity cannot enter. Yea, truth faileth, and he that departeth from evil maketh himself a prey. And the Lord saw, and it displeased him that there was no judgment.
He said, and he that departed from evil make himself a prey? So if you trying to do the semblance of righteousness, like, oh no, we're going to have to take them out. That sounds like America. Like, you try to speak on truth because it's not about political affiliations either. Oh, it's all, like, you watch these different influencers like on social media, and oh, it's all the Democrats' fault, it's all the Republicans' fault. I'm like, right is right, wrong is wrong. Political affiliation not included.
And that's what they don't get. They'll lean on. I know people personally who are Trump supporters, and they're like, no, it's this and this and this, and I'm like, okay, so cool. Let me ask you a question, and I'll ask them a question that goes against what their party stands for. Or whatever their party's against. I'll ask them a question, a common sense question, and be like, well, that's wrong. I'm like, then that will make you a Democrat if you felt like that. And they're like, no, like that whole.
Like, and that's like some of the one of the biggest things of witchcraft that they have, because these political affiliations have become their religions also. Like, it don't matter. Well, no, it's the Democrats said it, so we're going to be directly opposed to it, even if the Democrats are actually right about this situation. Like, it shouldn't matter about a political affiliation. Right is right, wrong is wrong. Woe unto them. We got a whole nation where that's all they do. Political grandstanding. And again, we know that more than likely there's probably going to be another government shutdown here looming here pretty soon. They got to keep us in a constant state of chaos. ICE agents killing people, fear, they're going to cut the food and water off again, all this kind of craziness. Now the stuff going on with Venezuela, right? And Trump, he's not only threatening, well, he didn't just threaten Venezuela, he acted on it. But he also threatened who? Colombia, who? Cuba, Greenland. He's threatening all these different places, Canada, all of them. Making America public enemy number one. And the sins of America just keeps growing, just keeps stacking on top of each other. And again, he just talking crazy. And you try to have conversations with different quote-unquote Americans, and again, they just think that America could ever be beat. Well, is anyone going to do anything about what he did? I don't think so. I'm like, okay. Just have your popcorn ready. just get your popcorn ready, because it's coming.
The thing about that is they're trying to figure out how not to, they're probably trying to figure out how not to make innocent people pay for just this one man's doing.
Yeah.
Why push those buttons?
I don't know, man. Like the stuff like.
They can drop news. Everybody has news. This is the only people with news.
When they say that MAGA is the highest form of Satanism, and Satan really, like the word Satan just means adversary, so he's adversarial to the Most High. Like, these people worship Trump, man. That stuff is weird, bro. They worship Democrat or Republican, and they really worship Trump. Like, that stuff is crazy. He can do no wrong. He can say no wrong. Oh, I love my president. He's doing everything right. I'm like, yo, what is going on, man?
Become a new, uncertified underground religion in the open at the same time.
Yeah, it's out there. Yeah, he's Cyrus. I showed y'all those videos. Like, he's the Messiah. I'm like, Messiah? Like, where does this stuff end?
You got Israel backing them.
Before all this stuff even happened, Trump, he had met with Netanyahu again. He got his new marching orders, and next thing you know, Venezuela, all this other type stuff. Because they run America. But go ahead and finish this one out, so we can get to some news real quick. You're on verse 16.
And he saw that there was no man, wondered that there was no intercession, no intercessor. Therefore his arm brought salvation unto him, and his righteousness it sustained him. For he put on righteousness as a breastplate.
That's what we have to do.
And a helmet of salvation upon his head. And he put on the garments of vengeance, a clothing, and was clad with zeal as a cloak.
This is the full armor of the Most High that you see in Ephesians. Keep going.
According to their deeds, accordingly he will repay fury to his adversaries, recompense to his enemies. To the islands he will repay recompense.
So Now, we went to captivity to the islands, to all these different places around the world. And when we just try to say that the balance of stuff that's going to get, the scale of things is going to get balanced, they think that we're black supremacists, right? Like the stuff, like, I'd be like, wait, what? What are we? No, I didn't say that. Because again, if you're in Christ, you're not going to be sharing in that. But again, any type of thing where we're not minorities, and if we're not less than, it's a problem. Again, we need to be praying against this spirit of white supremacy, man. I cannot harp on that enough. I'll finish this out. It says, so shall they fear the name of Yahuwah from the west, and his glory from the rising of the sun. When the enemy shall come in like a flood, the spirit of Yahuwah shall lift up a standard against him. And the Redeemer shall come to Zion, not to the world, to Zion, and unto them that turn from transgression in the world. In Jacob, because everything starts with us first, right? So he says, and the Redeemer shall come to Zion. It doesn't say the word, it says Zion. And unto them that turn from transgression in Jacob, saith Yahuwah. As for me, this is my covenant with them, saith Yahuwah. My spirit that is upon you, and my words which I have put in your mouth shall not depart out of your mouth, nor out of the mouth of your seed, nor out of the mouth of your seed's seed, saith Yahuwah, from henceforth and forever. Because we can't be replaced, contrary to popular opinion. We can't. That's the gospel. That's the good news. It's supposed to be on our hearts. We're supposed to be letting our children know about this. And we're all supposed to be reestablishing the covenant from generation to generation. Now, like I said, I don't think we're going to get to the Jews in Portugal. I don't think so.
Question.
What's up?
Before you play the video,
Fair use. This is for educational and training purposes, right?
did you check that other work?
The what? Yeah. Yeah, I've already done that. I'm good. I'm good. So again, fair use. This is for educational and training purposes. So firstly, I want y'all to tell me the difference between what happened in Venezuela and what happened in Iraq. Don't tell me. Watch it. Y'all ready? Okay. Okay.
Halo.
You're going to watch the news coverage on some of these things, okay?
Halo.
I'm not even going to play around anymore. It. Hit me with the works. Iraq, Venezuela, go!
We're giving them full opportunity to do it the easy way. And when it doesn't work, we'll do it the hard way.
If we can do things the easy way, that's fine. And if we have to do it the hard way, that's fine too.
Chemical weapons is a threat to the United States.
Fentanyl poses a chemical weapons threat to the United States.
Al-Qaeda terrorists inside Iraq.
Al-Qaeda of our hemisphere.
We can get rid of Saddam. It could really begin to transform the region.
There's an opportunity to transform the entire region.
Bringing freedom and democracy.
Democracy and freedom
can serve as a
Beacon of hope.
Shock and awe.
Shock and awe indeed.
Coverage on those two things?
Yeah, they changed the verse backwards. They just flipped them.
Sometimes, but it was basically the same thing. Propaganda. That was created by who? Who was it? Who started the modern day propaganda? It goes back to the Roman Catholic Church. The Roman Catholic Church. Right? Okay.
I'm not even going to play around anymore.
So, now, y'all know, because I made a statement that Trump, he's been threatening for Greenland, right? So we're going to see why Greenland is so important. Greenland. Now, it's crazy that he's clamoring for Greenland again when Greenland 2 came out yesterday. I didn't think there was going to be a sequel to it either.
It came out, 5 years ago?
Yeah, but they made a sequel to it. I'm like, around the same time Trump is clamoring for this because everything like that is connected. What? Yeah, I saw it. Yeah, Kirsten Dunst's in that. Yeah, I saw that. But it don't tell you how the Civil War started. That's the one thing about it. Exactly. So this is going to show y'all why Greenland is so important.
President Donald Trump reasserted in the new year that the United States wants Greenland.
We need Greenland from a national security situation.
Trump said a newly appointed special envoy would lead the charge, drawing sharp criticism from Denmark and Greenland. Let's take a look at why Trump is interested in the vast Arctic territory. Greenland is strategically significant for the US military. The shortest route from Europe to North America runs through it. The US has said it wants to expand its existing military presence on the island. That includes placing radars to watch waters in the region used by Russian Navy vessels and nuclear submarines.
Right now, Greenland is covered with Russian and Chinese ships all over the place.
Shipping data show most Chinese and Russian activity in the Arctic is in waters near Russia. But more broadly, the Arctic is becoming more militarized, with NATO states, China and Russia all expanding activity there. The island is also rich in minerals, oil and natural gas, though development has been slow and mining has seen very limited US investment. Legally, Greenland is a territory of Denmark, which is a NATO member. In 2009, it was granted broad self-governing autonomy. That includes the right to declare independence from Denmark through a referendum. Polls show most of Greenland's 57,000 inhabitants back independence, but many of them also fear a hasty move for independence could leave them worse off and expose the island to the US. The US military has a permanent presence in an airbase in northwest Greenland. In 1951, the US and Denmark made an agreement. It gave the US the right to move around freely and construct military bases on the island as long as Denmark and Greenland are notified. Trump offered to buy the island during his first presidential term, a move Danish Prime Minister Mette Frederiksen called absurd. In late 2025, Trump named a special envoy to Greenland, Louisiana Governor Jeff Landry, who publicly backs the idea of the island becoming part of the US. Frederiksen has since said Denmark wants to continue being a good ally of the US, while also saying that Trump's threats should be taken seriously. In a joint statement pushing back on Trump, she and Greenland's Prime Minister Jens Frederik Nielsen said Greenland belongs to Greenlanders, saying, quote, "You cannot annex another country, not even with an argument about international security."
European leaders rallied behind Greenland on Tuesday following a renewed threat by U.S. President Donald Trump to take over the Danish territory. Polish Prime Minister Donald Tusk told reporters in Warsaw that Denmark can count on European solidarity over Greenland, and said no NATO member should threaten or attack another. A joint statement issued by the leaders of France, Britain, Germany, Italy, Poland, Spain, and Denmark the same day said, "It is for Denmark and Greenland and them only to decide on matters concerning Denmark and Greenland." Trump has in recent days repeated that he wants to gain control of the Arctic island. He first voiced the idea in 2019 during his first presidency, arguing it is vital for the U.S. military and that Denmark has not done enough to protect it. White House Deputy Chief of Staff Stephen Miller on Monday dismissed concerns about Danish sovereignty. He told CNN, quote, "You can talk all you want about international niceties and everything else, but we live in a world, in the real world, that is governed by strength, that is governed by force, that is governed by power." A U.S. military operation over the weekend that seized the leader of Venezuela has rekindled concerns that Greenland might face a similar scenario. Greenland has repeatedly said it does not want to be part of the United States. European leaders said security in the Arctic